Hello everyone, so I have an important video to talk about here. It's to do with the old flagship of the Irish Navy, which is going to be scrapped now. And I hope, and it is my hope, and I do think it would work. Now, I do even suggest this to the Department of Defence, or to the Minister for Defence, and I probably will get in touch with my local TD to tell them that this would be a good thing. That I do think this would be a good thing, that it's not scrapped. This is the idea, that we turn it into a naval museum. I know it's not the biggest, grandest ship in the world, but it's still a nice little vessel, and it's been the flagship of the Irish Navy for years. And I do think even putting it in Cork Harbour or something like that, getting a little place there at Cork Harbour where people could go on Monday to Friday, and maybe employ a few people to show them around, to maintain the ship, to look after it. Bob's your worker, charge them maybe a few bob if necessary, if that's what it costs. I'd be willing to pay €10 to go around and have a look around the ship. Again, it's not the biggest ship ever, but it'd be nice to just go out and have a look at it, and to look at the equipment and look at everything on the ship. And nice naval museum pictures, things that you can look around. People like boats too, and I do think it would be better than scrapping it, and I do think it would be nice to have it there. And for tourists or even members of the public, I do recommend one place. I know a lot of people say Cork would be the best place. The naval base in Cork, the main naval base in Cork Harbour, but I disagree. I don't think Cork would be the best place to put it. I do think Bundoran, actually. If you ask me, I do think Bundoran would be the best place to put the ship. As you know, Bundoran's in County Donegal. It's a nice seaside town. And obviously, or even in Ballyshannon there too. But it's a nice town where a lot of tourists go. A lot of people go in the summertime. It'd be nice there. It really would be nice there. But the thing is, the only thing, I kind of see the logistics side of it too, that it is on the Atlantic. The Bundoran is on the Atlantic, and it'd be very rough. And obviously, the boat is old. It's old. Regardless of what anybody says, it's an old ship. It could sink probably very handy. As we've seen in America, there was a ship that was an old battleship from World War Two, not a battleship but a light cruiser. It sunk in port, basically half sunk, because it just was old and the hull was just degrading over time. So it does require maintenance. The ship, you can't just throw a ship there and expect it to stay there for the rest of the time. Eventually, the sea will wear down the hull. And no matter how good the hull is, it wear down over time. It erode over time if it's not properly maintained. But I do think and obviously, as I say, the sea coming in, hitting the ship 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, will erode the ship very quickly. But obviously, I see why they say Cork Harbour, because it's obviously it's very protected. I suppose Cork Harbour, the naval base too, it's very protected. There's loads of walls around. There's loads of things to stop the wind from going at it, and obviously the wind blows the sea into the ships mainly, and the waves obviously the wind. And obviously, but again, that's just my suggestion. I don't know would it even be possible to do it in Ballyshannon or Bundoran, but I do think it would be more tractable maybe than Cork. But I can see too why Cork too, because obviously the second biggest city in the country. A lot of people are in Cork too, but I do think it would be more nice in Bundoran if you ask me. But again, again the logistical side doing that. But I do say, and I do appeal to the Department of Defence, I probably will get in touch with Simon Coveney's office to say this to him, that it should be kept. I really do think it should be kept, and if so, at some point I will go down wherever it be kept. But either or, if it's in Cork, if it's in Bundoran, if it's in Dublin, wherever it is, as long as it's maintained and looked after, and it's turned to a naval museum. Again, it's not a big ship now. It's not anything to write home about. But it's a nice wee ship, and it'd be a nice little museum, to serve the country. Just to say, it's been in operation since 1983. So obviously an old ship. But yeah, I do think it would be nice as a little museum, and I'm sure people agree, a nice little museum. Because I'm not aware of any naval ships that are museums now. I could be wrong. Obviously, you can go on naval ships as tours. Obviously, there's certain tours on the naval ships that are operating at the moment. But as a full-time museum, obviously in America, and I think in the United Kingdom they have ships that from the Second World War and things. So obviously Ireland doesn't have that big of a naval history. Obviously like the British Empire or the United States or anything like that. Ireland had a very small navy during the Second World War. And from there on I had a very small navy too. It's nothing really to write home about. But at the same time, it's a nice wee ship. I put the thumbnail up as the thumbnail for this video. It's a nice wee ship. It's a nice little thing to have in some city. It's just a tourist attraction. Or for people, if they're curious, to go and have a look around the ship and and it's nice. It'd be nice in good weather too to have a look around and things. It'd be nice, and then it might create a few jobs too and maintain, because obviously you need to maintain the ship. And as I say, if you do have to charge people €10, €15 or something like that, I'd be willing to pay. If I was near a ship and you could go on to it for a tour, a museum, I'd be willing to pay €10, €15 to go on, even €20. I need to go €50 to be totally honest. If it's to maintain the ship and make sure it's a part of Irish history and to be there in 100 years' time. Obviously, I'm sure you would agree it is important to the state. It has served the state well for the last few generations, and I do think it'd be a sin to scrap it. Especially because, as I say, it'd be a nice little museum. But yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. I do suggest, and I will bring this up to my local TD. I'll bring it up to Heather Humphreys, the Minister for Social Protection. Hopefully she passed on to the Department of Defence, but I will mention it too. And I probably will email Simon Coveney's office about it to suggest that it should be used as a museum. So yeah, thank you for watching.